mean, I guess this must be a combination of a win by Boris Johnson and his strategy, but also a loss from the Labour Party and Corbyn. Clearly, the results are a lot larger than what most would have thought, certainly months ago. And I think this is now finally the Conservative Party has the mandate to deliver Brexit. That's what they've been looking now for months or almost 3 years, and finally they got it.
And what do you think those sitting back in Brussels are doing, those who are sitting on the other side of the negotiating table? Because we do know that they've agreed in principle to that withdrawal agreement. But then when it comes to the tricky part of negotiating the trade terms going forward during that transition period, does this embolden Boris Johnson as a negotiator?
I mean, I think they must be relieved, even if it's a contradiction given what Boris Johnson is about to do. But they must be relieved because for 3 years they've been trying to look for a voice on the other side to try to move forward. I mean, move forward, maybe not to the ideal place from the European point of view, but somewhere. And finally, the UK has made up their mind, and it's their decision to go in one direction. And now the Europeans have to deal with it. It's going to be a complicated negotiation, but I think they must be relieved that finally there's a clear message coming from the other side.
Yeah, so that's phase one of the process that seems to have been passed through. What about phase two? How do you expect that to pan out in terms of, like Nancy said, the negotiations? Do you think that they will be able to resolve this matter? So the divorce happens on Jan 31st, but after that, how do you see the negotiations panning out over the course of the next 1 to 2 years when the transition period is underway? I mean,
the negotiations are going to be very complicated, and the Europeans will suffer through those. It's going to take longer than a year. It's going to take longer than the 11 months we have left. But I think at this point, from a political point of view, the UK got what they wanted. Boris Johnson got what he wanted. I don't think he cares about the details of what Brexit looks like. He wanted to say, get Brexit done, and by January 31st, he's going to say, I won. So from that perspective, you could almost relax. You're going to have to deal with the technical issues, but politically, this is a very different environment than over the last 3 years.
No, because you will still have the UK deal with the uncertainty on what the trade agreement looks like, right? That's going to impact mid-sized businesses, small-sized businesses, and then the whole issue with Northern Ireland and whether it continues to be with the EU single market or not, also hangs in balance. Add to that, what about having a free hand to actually forge ahead with new trade alliances, new trade agreements, whether it's the US or across Asia? All of that is actually up in the air.
It is, but again, maybe I'm going to make a prediction, which is not obvious to make a prediction in these cases, in particular in politics. But I think we might have a higher chance now of a soft Brexit. Now that Boris Johnson is in power, he got what he wanted. Now, when it comes to the details, I mean, the UK understands that they don't want to be too far from the European Union. The idea that the UK can be on their own, it makes no sense from an economic point of view. Once you have the political battle, now let's be more rational and try to get an economic outcome that makes sense for the UK.
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.